What kind of grand agreement we will have between the US and China? We don't know. But yes, there will be probably a new, more balanced understanding, agreement. The same goes for the EU-China relations, a reassessment of investment relations, also trade investment. I could guess that there will be lasting changes in the global economy. There will be, first, less trust in the US and less trust in the US dollar. China will be the winner of this situation. And as to Europe, it depends whether we sort of jump on this occasion and reassess our relations with China in a cooperative way, so to say.
I think a central pillar of the global system today and about the global financial architecture. It is now a given that China is de facto an economic powerhouse. When you have this economic powerhouse, you have more responsibilities, not only for your own country, but for the rest of the world. Because whatever you do will have a huge implication and have major spillovers to the rest of the world. So whatever China does will have indeed major implications for the rest of the world. Same time, to realize that they have an important stake for the global economic stability, and not only through the BRI, but also through their policies, and it become also a champion for the global South. So yes, it's not a question about if China is going to lead. China is already leading. And I think for the prosperity of the world, for global peace, we need that these two countries, China and US, come to a term. Everything should be about coordination, not confrontation. Everything should be about cooperation. Of course, it can be competition, but what we don't want is confrontation, because it can be very dangerous for the rest of the world. But I think Chinese understand what is at stake. They want to play an important role to build this, what I call these new multipolarities. So we should strive to find a way for these two major superpowers to come to an agreement, because this is interest for the global economy.
Before being a professor at the university, I was working for the UN as a young person. I was one of the speechwriters of the Secretary General in the 1990s. And at the time, China was not really a visible major player in the UN context. Now this is very much the case. So as it was mentioned today, I don't think that the world wants a new hegemon replacing the old hegemon. All countries want to have their voice being heard. They want to have a sense that their rights are being respected. So if indeed China is going to play a more important role going forward, I think one of the guidelines of Chinese foreign policy at the global level would be to somehow, celebrate and nurture a world order in which the sense of agency of all countries would be respected and enhanced.
We hope that China, like many other countries, is going to insist on trying to retain a free trade global system which is rules-based. This is obviously in the interests of really all countries, but I think China can be a leader in standing up. China is, arguably is the world's second economic power. It is a critical voice and a critical part of ensuring the steering of the world back to a much more stable position than it is at present. Well, there have always been other rule makers at the table too, but it's now important that there be a much more diverse set of rule makers reflecting the international orders, and the powerful need to be at the table, but the weak as well. Restore their faith in the multilateral system, be it the WTO or the IMF or the United Nations. We need a total solution to all those issues.